So today I'll just go ahead and get started or whatever, and people can come in as they get notified. So today I'm gonna try not to be up here too long, but today I want to talk about, this was also a requested video. I was actually already planning on talking about this, but I did want to kind of put in what one of my subscribers had requested too, which is, so tonight we're going to be talking about plus size women, Black women, etc., etc. Um, so what did I title this video? So the main thing I wanted to talk about, and I'm gonna put the link in, because I may have a guest coming in, but I'm not sure, but it'll be there if she decides to chime in. But so I wanted to talk about, of course, I talk about leveling up and things of that nature. So I did want to give the plus size girls some love quickly. So, but also to kind of help plus size women, because we all have a journey. We're all on whatever feminine journey, level up journey, becoming an entrepreneur, business, whatever you're on. But mostly I wanted to talk about being confident. And so that's what somebody wanted me to mention. So I also talk about that. But I also wanted to talk about my opinions on, we all know that a big chunk of Black women in the United States are overweight, obese, morbidly obese, what have you. So I really wanted to talk about this briefly. And so what I really wanted to address, some of the things that I wanted to address was not only the whys and the hows, but also who we should and shouldn't be listening to when you're talking about losing weight, being overweight, whatever the case is. And so I briefly wanted to talk about that. So I'll jump in with that and then go from there. So I really don't have any structure for tonight's live. I just kind of wanted to talk about some of the things that I wanted to mention. So, a lot of Black women do struggle with weight. And I do want to acknowledge that it is an issue. It is an important issue, and it is an issue that we have to address. But like I said in one of my recent uploads about all of us being on our own individual journey, is that, we have a journey regardless. And, a lot of people will tell Black women to, lose the weight, as they like to say, lose the weight or whatever. But it's really, I want Black women to understand, especially the plus size Black women and non-plus size Black women, because I see a lot of this in the comments. And if you want to know the truth, for me, it's only certain people I'll be willing to listen to. So for all my plus size girls, okay, even the ones, not everybody wants to lose weight. Not everybody has a desire to lose weight. And I do understand that. So I don't want to go under the assumption, hey, y'all, I don't want to go under the assumption that everybody wants to lose weight, because not everybody is trying to lose weight. But for those of us who are trying to lose weight, I do want to, give, just some pointers I feel like is important when we are consuming certain content, when we're trying to lose weight, when we're trying to level up our lives. And so I do think, first and foremost, that losing weight is very important, but there's more than just lose the weight when it comes to weight. And I had to do a lot of internal work for myself. Thank you. Lady Radiance, thank you. So I had to do a lot of internal work for myself to figure out what my issue was. Because personally, I'm a size 16. I'm a confident woman. Yes, I do want to lose weight so I can be even more confident, so I can be even more content with the way I present myself, and namely for myself. It's not even for anyone else, because I don't have problems attracting men. I don't have problems with any of that. So first and foremost, it needs to be for the right reasons, which is for yourself, not for everyone else or whatever other people's reasons are. And so I think personally, it's important for us to be careful who we listen to, because it's easy for people who've never had to lose a certain amount of weight. It's easy for them to sit behind their keyboards. It's easy for them to sit behind their their phones, to sit behind their phones, sit behind videos, whatever it is, and say, lose the weight, lose the weight. Black women are fat, lose the weight, right? Anybody can do that. But and some women may acknowledge it, but one thing that I do for myself, and this is something that will help your confidence, even if you are overweight or if you are plus size. And that's being careful who you listen to. Because there are different, and not to belittle anybody's weight loss journey, not to belittle any of that. There's levels to anyone's weight loss journey. There's people who only have to lose 5 pounds. They're trying to get rid of a pudge, their fupa. There's people who only have to lose 30 pounds, who's not that big to begin with. And then there's people who are obese, morbidly obese, who has to lose a ton of weight. And so it's really important that we be careful. And see, a lot of Black women, this part is for Black women in particular. A lot of Black women we're used to harshness. We're used to being told certain things in a certain way. Now, everybody is harsh. Everybody is, have to deal with certain issues, but there's a certain undertone that the Black community is used to, that Black people are used to, which is, tough love and all that kind of stuff. I'll say this. I don't listen to anybody who if you haven't had to lose over 50 pounds, please don't tell me about losing weight. Please don't tell me I need to lose weight. If you had to lose 30 pounds, listen, 30 pounds is a lot of weight. And I'm not trying to belittle anybody's, journey or struggles with losing weight. Because of course, if you're smaller, it takes a lot more to lose 30 pounds. But when you're at a certain weight, 30 pounds is nothing. So I'm not trying to say other people don't struggle with weight and it only matters if it's a lot of weight. Absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is we all know whatever weight we are. We don't have to give numbers. We don't have to tell people how much we weigh ever, but you know what it is. You know what your goals are. You know how much you want to lose. And so it's really important if you are over a certain size, if you are over a certain weight limit, even if they're Black women, please be careful about the people that you listen to, because nobody who had to lose, in my opinion, for me, I don't listen to anybody who hasn't lost over 50 pounds. And for me, that's being gracious. So if you have never had to lose over 50 pounds, I don't want to hear what you have to say, because a lot of the issues, and going back to where a lot of our issues stem with, and I'll, go into my own issues and my own backstory for why I allowed myself, in so many words, to gain weight, or why I, held on to weight and fat and everything else so much. So everybody has a backstory. Most of us, the bottom line is, most of us are going through things. Most of us are dealing with things, or we're not dealing with them, which is the reason why it is coming out as losing weight. And so, one thing that really irritates me is when people who haven't had to lose a ton of weight try to tell people advice. I can promise you, every person that's fat, every person that's overweight, every person that's obese or morbidly obese know what they look like. They know they're fat. They don't need you to tell them that they're overweight, and they don't need you to tell them that they need to lose weight. I think that is understood. Secondly, there's a lot of psychological issues that go into why Black women are overweight, because this is the thing. You can lose a ton of weight. I've lost a lot of weight before. I've lost over 50 pounds before and gained it all back. Okay. And then some. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes. And what I want Black women to understand, and all women who struggle with this, is I want you to understand that there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. And that is the part that you need to focus on, because when you can focus on getting rid of whatever toxicities are in your life, getting rid of the reasons of why, really like doing work, whether that's through therapy or whether that's through self-love work by yourself, with yourself, self-care, whatever. But we really need to get to a place where we are self-aware and where we know why we do the things that we do. And that takes work. And it's my belief, from even the work that I've been doing, is that once you really start to dive deep into your psyche through whatever uses. Personally, for me, I'm a whore for yoga. Okay. I love yoga. I love meditation. I love being by myself. I like spending time by myself because it allows me to clear my head and really think about things with no distractions. And so I like your nails. They look so healthy. Thank you. I haven't had them done in a while, so I'm trying to figure out what I want to do next. Love the eyeshadow. Thank you. So what if you are struggling? Two things I want to make clear, if nothing else comes out of this video. One, if you're overweight, just do the self-work to see why you're like that, to see how you're what drives you to eat when you're feeling hungry, when you are binge eating or whatever the issue is. Really, when you have the urge to eat something, figure out why. The minute you feeling hungry, especially if it's a moment where you're not really hungry or you ate something and you want something else, think about why. Think about the things that have been going on around you in your life when you're about to eat. That's one. For people that's never had to lose a lot of weight, you're not a fitness instructor, nobody solicited your advice, be quiet. That is my advice for people who don't struggle with weight, for people who don't know. If nobody solicited your advice, keep your mouth shut. If nobody asked you what they need to do to lose weight, keep your mouth shut. Because I can promise you, every fat person on the planet has dieted. Every big person on the planet can probably tell you how to lose weight more than you can. The problem is the psychological holes, the toxicities in our lives are preventing us from moving forward. That is what a lot of us deal with, no matter what color you are, but namely Black women. And I think a lot of us will get better. It'll get easier. I know for a fact, because it's gotten easier for me. As we start to level up our lives, we grow our self-worth, we grow our self-confidence, because at the end of the day, if you have a desire to lose weight, you can't then say that you're really practicing self-care, or you're really taking care of yourself if you aren't eating healthy, if you aren't, exercising, if you aren't doing what you're supposed to do. You can't say that with a straight face. Okay. Now, there's a lot of nuance in this conversation. We know this to be true. There's a lot of things going on. Me personally, I'm a size 16, 18. Like, I'm relatively healthy. Okay. I don't have any health issues. I go to the doctor regularly. I don't have blood pressure issues. I don't have cholesterol issues. I don't have any issues. A lot of that may be chalked up to my DNA, but because I just come from a family that, knock on wood, thank you, Lord, that we don't get sick. We're relatively healthy for the most part, and we have to do a lot of physical damage to ourselves to not be healthy. Also, one thing that helps me is fasting. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. And yes, this is the biggest reason a lot of us are overweight is stress. Stress is a psychological issue. And the sneaky, terrible thing about stress is that sometimes we're stressed and we don't even know we're stressed. And that is honestly something that I've been struggling with over the last couple months or so, since probably around Christmas. So a lot of the times, like, we can be stressed and we don't even know it. And sometimes it is sort of out of our hands, whether if it's your job, if you have a high demand job, or a job that you just don't like. If you are, if you have you're not making enough money. A lot of people's stresses come from money. But and see, this is the thing. This is why it irritates me when people say just lose the weight, especially skinny people who aren't fitness instructors. Nobody solicited your advice. Nobody asked. Just lose weight. Now, that's not to say, I want to make this clear too. That's not to say that you don't have, because you didn't have to lose a certain amount of weight, you don't have a right to have an opinion on the collective, weight issues that I'm not saying you don't have a right to have an opinion. I'm not saying you don't have the right to necessarily say anything. I'm just saying, say it when it's solicited, because ultimately you're not helping. And see, stress is one of the number one reasons a lot of Americans are overweight, and a lot of Black women are overweight, is stress. And it's a lot more people that's overweight than just Black women, but a lot of us are overweight, and it's because of stress. And I can promise you, okay, I can promise you, you can eat right, you can work out all you want, but if your stress levels don't change, you will not lose weight. I know from personal experience, okay? You will not lose weight. So the bottom line is, a lot of our issues with weight comes from our environment, whether that's our jobs, whether that's our income, whether or lack thereof, whether that's us having families and trying to juggle paying the bills, trying to take care of children. A lot of Black women are single mothers, which is a whole stressor in itself. A lot of Black women are even freaking married Black women, or married women in general. Just marriage alone is stressful for women. As much as it's a goal for so many women work harder. And I can promise you, if you're married, you're working harder as in a typical marriage, probably not like a leveled up marriage or a hypergamous marriage, but in the majority of marriages across the board for all races, most women do the most work with children. They do the most work with taking care of the house, with everything. Plus they work. All the dieting in the world, if you have certain medical conditions, if you are prone to holding on to weight, and when you're stressed out, some people get stressed and lose weight. Some people get stressed and gain weight. So that is like something that we really have to do the work to see, because I can promise you, people can tell you to lose weight. They can give you the perfect regimen. But if you don't get rid of the things that's damaging you psychologically, if you don't work on those things, work on changing bad habits, none of it is going to do you any good. Because I can promise you, if as many plus size women or body positive women there are, if they could snap their fingers and be small, I can promise you they would. But the bottom line is that's not how life works. And so we really have to be careful about how we approach it. So let me see. And so this is another thing that I wanted to, girl, you put in all the good comments. This is another thing that I wanted to talk about too, but I'll jump into this a little bit later when I tell my story. I'll jump into that a little bit later. Let's see. Very true, though. I didn't have to lose 50 plus pounds. Girl, be grateful. I'm sure you are. I realized I depended on food to distract me from things I didn't like doing, like homework. So I would overeat and overwork myself to compensate for time. I've done that myself. I understand for sure. Yes, people all of a sudden become medical doctors and nutritionists when it comes to people who are overweight. Exactly. And so one thing that I wanted to mention about that was that I understand, and for each individual, if you've never had to lose a certain amount of weight, or if you're overweight and you have to lose weight and you are in comment sections or you watching videos and they see that, just understand that these people aren't medical doctors and they're not trying to help you. Scroll past the comments. But what I wanted to say about this was, it's easy. It's really important for us to watch what we consume and watch what we allow to go into our psyche, because I know, so I'll give people the benefit of the doubt. I'll give a lot of Black women the benefit of the doubt and say that they're trying to help. But let's be logical about this, okay? Y'all know I'm here for logic. Let's be like, do you really think that your comment in a comment section saying that feminine women aren't overweight, do you think that's helping somebody? If most people really understood psychology a little bit, you don't even got to understand it that much, but a little bit. If you understood psychology, if you understood addiction, if you understood compulsion, if you understood just minute, just a little bit, you wouldn't even bother trying to help people by writing in suggestions that nobody solicited you for, like in comment sections. You wouldn't even do that. So I can promise you it's not helping. And this is why, A, you shouldn't do it. And B, if you're overweight or obese and you want to lose weight, you shouldn't, consume that. You shouldn't be in a comment section that's talking about it. Some people may be able to say, oh, well, you right, I do need to lose weight, that's why blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, the majority of us, that's not how our minds work. And even if you aren't a sensitive person or you don't take things to heart, it still goes into your brain. And another thing is, a lot of people do this because it's easy to target people that's overweight. Let's talk about that, okay? It's easy when you're on your level up journey, when you're trying to be feminine, when you're working on whatever it is you're working on, it's easy to target people that's overweight because it's the first thing you see about somebody. But it's a lot of skinny people running around here in the same predicament that plus size women are. And what's their excuse? Because all of our problems will be solved if we lose weight, right? This is why I don't care when people comment on my weight because I can promise you, people don't comment on my weight in real life. That's the thing. Nobody comment on my weight in real life. People comment on other people's weight online, where they're anonymous and where you ain't walking up to people. Like, don't put stuff in comment sections that you wouldn't say in real life. If you was chit-chatting with people that you wouldn't say in real life. So my thing is, if you want to help somebody, don't. Unless they ask for it, don't. Because I can promise you it's going to have adverse effects. Whatever you're trying to help them with is actually going to be worse. Because the bottom line is, a lot of us don't a lot of us have a lot of psychological issues to work with, a lot of mental health issues, and analyzing our situations, our living conditions, whatever it is. And for a lot of people, food, like she said before, food is a distraction. Okay, food is that people are addicted to food. Food is um food is a crutch for a lot of people. Most of us emotional eat. We eat when we're sad. We eat when we're angry. Like, and that's something that we all really have to pay attention to. Um, let's see. This too, a lot of people eat when you're bored. That's something that a lot of us have to work on. Because if you notice, a lot of the women, especially the women who are doing femininity content or level up content, if they had to lose a certain amount of weight, I can promise you, you don't see those women talking about being overweight. Like, and that's the thing. That's what people don't understand. That's why I get some people are trying to help, but your help end up doing the opposite. Because I can promise you, the people who lose a ton of weight, who lost like 100 pounds or something, 80, 70, 80, 90, 100 pounds, you don't see them talking about overweight people a lot. And people like to distract from their own issues. And if they aren't overweight, then that's the one thing they get to have one up on everybody else. So that's why I say don't even listen to people. Don't even listen to people talk about certain things. Get rid of the stressors in your life, because a lot of the things that Black women deal with in our community are the issue. It's what keep you being overweight. This part, the stressing about being overweight and comments from family made me feel terrible, and I turned to food again. Exactly. And a lot of people aren't trying to be hurtful, but they don't understand. Because I remember when I was never skinny by any means. I was never skinny, but I was like slim thick, kind of. Won't no such thing as slim thick then, but I've always had a smaller waist, bigger butt and thighs, smaller upper body. And so a lot, when I was after high school, is a couple years after high school is when I started putting on weight. And the reason I started putting on weight was because I didn't go to the school that I ended, without putting too much of my business out there. I didn't end up doing what I wanted to do when I first graduated from school, because my parents wouldn't let me when I first graduated from high school. And I was stressed. I was angry. I was upset. I was sad. I was like eating my feelings. And it became a big deal. And I know people think they're helpful. Even my own dad thought he was being helpful by making me get on the scale, by making me but then at the same time, Black parents feed you all kinds of crazy. But then when you get fat, it's a problem. And it don't work like that. And I remember one time telling my mom that I was like, listen, I'm never going to lose weight. And I was probably like 19 at the time. And I was like, listen, I'm never going to lose weight. And I wasn't even that big at that time, but I was bigger than what I was. And so my dad used to make me get on the scale all the time. And it was traumatic. That experience was traumatic for me. And I think eventually my mom said something to him, because one day he just stopped. And I understand now as an adult that he was trying to look out for me, but people go about it in the wrong way. And so I ended up telling my mom one time I was like, listen, I'm never going to lose weight like this. If you being stressed out about it, I'm never going to lose weight. I'm never going to lose weight like this. And so I think eventually she said something to him because he stopped and like still feel guilty to this day. Like my dad pay off my car. I still feel like he feel a little guilty to this day. But people try to help, but you're not helping. You're making it worse because you are then not only are people having stressors from their life, but you're having stressors from people telling you fat all the time and telling you you're gaining weight. And we already know old Black people just say whatever they want to say and they don't think twice about it. So that's what I really want people to understand when you're trying to help, when you so-called trying to help, you're not helping. I'm sorry you had to go there. It's okay. Thank you. It's water under the bridge now. Right. I think we should get to the root of the problem instead of shaming people. And it's a thin line between trying to help and trying to shame, because if you are a fitness instructor, if you never lost a lot of weight, like if you had to lose 30 pounds, you don't want to hear somebody who only had to lose 10 pounds talk about losing weight or talk about, comparing your situation. The same thing, if you only had to lose 30 or 40 pounds, somebody who has to lose 100 pounds, 70 pounds, your stories aren't comparable. So I just want people to be mindful when they're doing that. And also, it's important for plus size women, you have every right to be feminine. You have every right to be on your own level up journey. And so it's even more important for us to do it because sometimes there are downfalls to being plus size. That's why a lot of us want to lose weight, not only for ourselves, but there are downsides to it, and sometimes you do have to put in a little bit more effort. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's, rainbows and sunshine and, running through lily fields and stuff. It's not always, it's not always beautiful, and so I'm gonna be honest. Okay, I'm gonna be honest about that part. I'm not gonna say, just stay your size and you don't have to lose weight. Don't let anybody make you feel bad about it. So as an excuse to be lazy. No, it's an excuse to keep your confidence so that you can get your mind to a place where you being overweight is unacceptable. And that is where we need to go. And that takes a lot of internal work, therapy, whatever you want to do. For those of you or us, because I don't want to pay for therapy, who can't afford therapy or don't want to pay for it, you can do the work yourself. It'll take a lot more work. It might be easier with therapy because other people can point out, things about you. I've actually been in the market for a therapist, but it's not as easy to find a therapist as I thought it would be. So I'll jump into, so I'm not up here too long. I'll jump into my own story. So I told y'all a little about that. I wasn't even really going to talk about that, but it was kind of relevant at the time. But so one of the things, and this is, I was going to say this is something I realized recently, but honestly, I definitely recall thinking about this some years ago. And so going back to the comment she said about the environment, so I was in a very toxic relationship and just got out. I lost 50 pounds. Your environment is everything. Absolutely. And so going back to that, our environment, it's no shock to any of us. We all know that Black women a lot of us are in less ideal situations. This stuff affect me, and I wasn't in less ideal situations. My parents did the best they could. That's why it's water under the bridge now. I know my dad loved me. I know now that he was trying to help, and I can compartmentalize that I'm older now and I'm over it, but I can use that to help somebody else. And so, I was in the better of circumstances when it came to my upbringing, my parents, my living situations, and all that, and it still affected me gravely. So I can only imagine how it's like if you are in the hood. I wasn't raised in the hood. If you're in very hostile environments, and so it doesn't show up for everybody as gaining weight. Why do you think skinny people are, have cancer? They have autoimmune diseases, diabetes. Most of the people I know that have diabetes are stick thin. Okay, so these are the things, it affects us all in different ways. But I guess it's okay to have lupus and to have cancer or whatever else, as long as you're not fat. So, and that's how people make it seem like you can pick out the one obvious thing that's complain about. Because I can promise you, I would rather be fat and, relatively and at risk of something rather than skinny and actually have it. So, so one thing, like I was saying before I got sidetracked and off on a rant, so I was in better circumstances than at least majority of the Black community, and this stuff still affected me. So one of the main reasons that I realized in adulthood why I held on to so much weight, because I've lost a ton of weight before. I haven't always been super overweight. I haven't always been like that, okay? So one of the main reasons why I stayed overweight as long as I did, or why my weight fluctuated so much, I would go through phases where I was bigger and then would lose the weight and be smaller and gain it back and do all that. A lot of us yo-yo diet and gain, and our weight fluctuates. So one thing was that I felt safer, bigger. Okay? I felt safer, bigger. Now, I wasn't in the hood, but I was around predominantly Black people. And so after high school and college and such, I was going to community college. Before I went to university, and I was working, going to school, all of this kind of stuff. I was becoming a young adult. I wasn't where I wanted to be. I was stressed out. Also, I was around different people, okay? So I started being around more of the less ideal amongst us. I'll put it like that. So it was a way. I was growing up. My body was changing. Of course, by 17, I already had butt and hips and stuff like that. But we all know that it starts with Black girls. It starts in teenagers. It starts early. A lot of us develop early. Now, personally, me, I didn't have boobs until I was like the 10th grade. Like, I didn't get my period until I was 16. Like, I was underdeveloped in some ways. I had no boobs, but I had a butt. I had a big butt and I had thighs, and I remember like yesterday, the year they came in, okay? Because, people love commenting on Black girls' bodies and over-sexualizing Black girls and all this kind of stuff. So when I was in the 6th grade, that was the first time I remember somebody commenting on my body. And now it was somebody who was my age in school, some boys in school. It's like, oh, your butt got big. Oh, that's when the touching of the butt start happening and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of the time, these things happen early for Black girls. And so as you get a little bit older and you don't know any better, we think that's normal. Okay. When you're in school, public school, wherever, you are exposed to things that you wouldn't have been exposed to otherwise. And so, with boys touching your butts, men commenting on your body and stuff like that, it starts to be normal, but you know that it's normal. It seems to be normal, but the way you really feel on the inside, you know it's not normal. Because I remember when I was in high school and this boy touched my butt and I touched his butt back too. I waited. I waited until like we was like chilling in the class. He was sitting on my desk. Like he was my homeboy too, but I had to teach him a lesson. So he sat on my desk and I was sitting in the desk. You know how the school desks are. And he was sitting on top of the desk. So I put my hand up under his butt crack and he went running. Okay. I was like, oh, so you don't like being touched, do you? So touching without your permission, your body parts is not okay, is it? So we get used to this kind of behavior to some degree. And so the older you get, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, you start attracting even older men. You start attracting, late 20-year-olds and stuff like that. And of course, when you're 19, you 18, 17, you might think it's a little cute, but it's not, because they're predators. And so I began to notice when I was in my early 20s, I began to notice how differently I was treated depending on what weight I was at. Okay. So I noticed that when my same face. So I have, a decently attractive face. So I don't have a problem attracting men. So when I started putting on weight, I noticed that I would still attract men, but men would address me differently. They would come to me correctly, should I say. They would have a little bit more respect when they approached me, if they approached me at all. I felt safer overweight. So, and it was a long time before I realized this, and before I was really able to put into words how I felt. Because I'm pretty sure 99.99% of overweight people, obese people, morbidly obese people, they don't want to be like that. And if they could snap their fingers and be different, they would. But there's a lot of deep-seated issues behind the reasons why. So if you want to help somebody gain weight, help them figure out what's toxic in their lives and why they have the relationship with food that they have. So I felt safer, bigger. And unbeknownst to me, my subconscious knew, but not me. Like I would test the theory if you can catch my drift on how I would be treated by men by how big I was or how small I was. So when the last time I lost like a ton of weight, I started getting a lot of attention that I had not been accustomed to some degree. And personally for me, so my thing is, some people might say, oh, it's nice to be attractive. Like who doesn't want to be attractive? Who doesn't want, it's the caliber of people that you are attracting. And I'm Black. I'm from a Black town. I'm from a predominantly Black place. It was only Black people around for the most part. So I wasn't feeling the people who I was attracted in, who I was attracting, most of them. And so, and sometimes the negativity outweighed the positivity. So a lot of the nicer guys were shy. It was the guys that you didn't want that was so bold. And so I noticed that when I lost more weight, I started getting more attention that I did not want. Okay. Especially with the kind of body that you have. When I lose weight, it go away. The first place it leaves is my waistline, which may sound good in theory. I know it's a lot of people that want an hourglass figure. It sounds good in theory. But a person like me who's never been boy crazy, who don't I don't live for attention from men. And it's quite annoying to me, but I know most people aren't like me. But for those of you who are like me and who don't, you don't get off on talking to, I want to be around boys. I want to go see what to do. I've never been like that. So that kind of attention is annoying to me. And as soon as I lost weight, I would get even more of it. It was bad enough when I was heavier. So that's why my weight would fluctuate. So I would get tired subconsciously of being harassed. And let's not even talk about the time I spend in New York, where New York, I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with New York City, but the men are next level aggressive in New York. So, and so when I would get tired of attracting especially the wrong kind of dude, because they're the one who are catcalling you or grabbing your arm or commenting on your body within 2 seconds of meeting you. When I got tired of that, it was like, okay, my subconscious was like, okay, it's time to put on weight now, so you can kind of detract, I don't know what the word is, but not attract so many dudes. So a lot of us are doing things subconsciously, that all of the weight loss advice, all of the weight loss comments, the finger wagging that people do, lose the weight. For a lot of us, it's not even about the food itself. Then a lot of us have addictions. A lot of us have addictions that we're not willing to address, or that we have to do the work to start addressing, so that we can kind of undo the behaviors. And so one of the things, and I think somebody was asking me earlier, am I still alternate day fasting? No, I'm not alternate. I took a break from alternate day fasting, but I am right now I'm doing 16 to 18 hour fasting. And then in February, I'm gonna go to OMAD. So still fasting, because fasting is like my lifestyle now. But I'm not doing alternate day fasting right now. Plus, I read that I use the Zero Fasting app, and so alternate day fasting, I don't think you're supposed to do for super long periods of time. So I think I'll do alternate day fasting for maybe a week and then stop, and then go about my regular fasting, and then do it again maybe a couple months later. But because I don't want to OD do it, and that's another thing I'm really working through. So I don't like to talk about my weight loss regimen right now, what I do, until I meet my goal. Then I'll talk about it, just so it's more authentic, it's genuine. I'm not going to be trying to tell people what to do and I haven't done it. I'm not going to be telling people how to meet their weight loss goal and I haven't met mine. So right now I'm just trying to talk about the things that has helped me with managing confidence, staying confident while you are on that journey, and like totally change. And this is like a 2-year process. Like when my brother died, it was like, that's when, that on top of me already wanting to lose weight, like I was in the doctor's office all the time. That's why I say stress is one of the number one things. But this was a problem long before my brother died. So I couldn't even blame it on that. It just really made me be conscientious about about my stress levels, and more conscious about why I'm eating. So I literally do that when I have the urge to eat something, and fasting helped with that too. Fasting really, because when you see how long you can go without eating, and then it's weird. It's like really trippy to then go back to eating regular, because then it's like you don't have to eat all that food. So it's like, why am I eating this much? So that's why I really recommend fasting, for like really changing your mindset, because it really does rewire everything that we've been taught about food consumption. So, but let me read some of these comments. And let's see. I don't care for male validation. I understand. Thank you. See, you get it. It's like I never have. I never have. So wish I could lose my waistline. It like it's all good until it's all good until you start attracting the wrong kind of dude. Like because of that hourglass figure. But not there's nothing wrong with an hourglass figure. Most people want an hour. Most women of all races want an hourglass figure, but it's like, ugh. I've always been smaller, athletic, but I ran track and got harassed so much about my legs. The guys in high school would always call me legs. It would be a large groups of them, intimidating and annoying. Exactly. It's like men just, that's a whole other conversation for a whole nother day. But it's just like men, they just can't help themselves. They have to comment on something. If you too skinny, they got to talk about that. If you too this, you too that. And then it's like, especially with the Black community, it's like they want you to be plus size. They want you to be a certain amount of thick. But then if it's too much, then they calling you fat. So it's like, that's why I don't listen to anybody except people who are genuinely trying to help. And this is why one of the people that I listen to, especially for intermittent fasting and keto, is what's that, the cute white dude, Thomas some DeLauer or something like that, because these are the type of people that you listen to. That man gained 100 pounds just to lose it again, so that he could understand the psyche, whatever the word is. He could understand the psychology behind obesity. And so that is somebody that I can respect. And not to say I don't respect other people who didn't even allow themselves to get overweight. Listen, big ups to you. But for the majority of Americans, period, Western Australia, whoever, a lot of them, their numbers, the UK, a lot of countries are, especially with living in first world and everything, a lot of us struggle with that. We struggle with overconsumption. And so for me, I like to listen to people who, and it's nothing wrong with other people giving advice, or if you're a fitness instructor, fat people can't be fitness instructors until they get to where they need to go. But at the same time, like, I appreciated that's somebody that I could listen to, because it's more to losing weight than calories in, calories out. Yeah, those are the cold hard facts of it. But if you can't get your mind right, if you can't get disciplined, if you can't get the things right that is really stopping you, then none of that calorie in, calorie out is going to do you any good, especially when you are stressed out in your body. Your hormones are causing you to hold on to weight. So that's why fasting really helps in like low carb lifestyles, but whatever. So that's what I really liked about him, was his videos, is because this man gained 100 pounds, and he went into detail about how hard it was for him to get himself in a place to be disciplined enough to be able to lose the weight, how psychologically attached to food he became. That is somebody who, plus size women who want to lose a lot of weight, that is who you need to listen to. Just my opinion on, being able to balance trying to lose weight, listening to people talk about things that's a touchy subject, because people need to understand to be able to deliver the message correctly. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of it is mental. His name is Thomas DeLauer. I think the last name is spelled like DELAUER, something like that. But he's like a humongous YouTuber. So he like does, so as soon as you probably type in Thomas space D, his name gonna pop up probably. Hey, hey, girl. Um, so let's see. When males comment like that, they are always acting as though they're the target. It must be exactly. Exactly. Um, let's see. Ooh, I'm glad y'all like fasting though. Um, I'm just seeing this. I got boobs early and I gained weight to hide it. See, and we do things like that even subconsciously because we're trying to protect ourselves. And it's really sad that the culture in the Black community is so toxic to women that we have to like literally put on a shield of fat to distract people from us, to like, shoo, go away, like to kind of as a defense mechanism against these men who try to harass us. And we do this, and the only thing we can do about it at this point is to get ourselves in safe environments so that we can feel safe enough to walk around pretty and slim without getting harassed. Because I mean, some people just have the genetics where they naturally thin, they're naturally athletic, and they don't hold their body, their hormones don't cause them to hold weight. I'm not one of those people. Even my mom loses weight when she's stressed. My mom don't eat when she's stressed. I'm the opposite. Um and the thing is, it's like mindless eating. So a lot of the time I didn't even realize so now I'm very conscious about if I'm actually hungry or not. Like if I just ate or something like that, or if I had, because I remember like 2 weeks ago, last week, I think it was last week, I was coming home from work and I was like wanting to go to Taco Bell all of a sudden. And so I kept going straight down the highway or whatever instead of taking my turn to go home. And so within that stretch, it was probably like maybe a mile and a half from where I was to the Taco Bell when I thought about it. And I was like, first of all, I don't even like Taco Bell like that. Second of all, I was like, during that time, from when I thought about it, I passed my turn and I kept going. I was like, okay, you're trying to lose weight. Why are you thinking about Taco Bell? Why do you even want Taco Bell? Like, you don't even like Taco Bell ain't even good enough for you to consume them kind of calories. Like, why do you want Taco Bell right now? What are you going through? What do you feel? What is wrong? Blah, blah, blah. By the time I got to the Taco Bell, I kept going. Like I didn't even pull into the thing. I was able to keep on going and go right on to the house and eat food that I have at my house. So a lot of the times we do things mindlessly. And so another thing I had, which a lot of us do, because I've seen memes about it, is I'll start Monday. I'll start another day. Tomorrow, I can eat this today. Find any excuse to eat what I wanted to eat right now and put off being good later. So I really had to work to stop doing that and like I'm still working on like kind of a script to go through whenever I have the urge to order DoorDash or to order Uber Eats or something like that. Like just like to not do it. Let me see. So yeah. Yes, that's his name. Thank you for putting in the comments, Thomas DeLauer. Mindless exercises can also help to realize bad mindfulness. Oh, girl, I said mindless. That's literally the opposite. Mindfulness exercises can also help to realize bad habits. Yes. That's why I've been doing, and I have to get more regular with meditating, but I love yoga, and I like really have to keep doing it more regularly because it allows me to center myself and like really be able to clear my own head and kind of clear away and like de-stress. So that is very important when it's like, and to me, so I'm glad you said that, because to me, yoga, meditation, things like that is more important for the journey now. It's more important than actual like weightlifting and stuff like that, because it will, these mindfulness, like meditation, all of these different things, these things will legit help you be more self-aware. And so then you can get to the place where if you're anything like me, I don't really like working out. It's really hard. I got to a point when I did lose a ton of weight a few years ago where I didn't even feel right if I didn't go to the gym. But it's been very hard the last 2 years to even get into that place. But doing meditation, doing yoga and things like that, that has allowed me to change my mindset, which have allowed me to change my relationship with food, which has allowed me to lose weight without even doing a ton of exercises. And so now my next step is to try to implement it even more regularly, so that I can then work on my discipline to actually go to the gym or to work out, because I don't really want to go to the gym because I'm afraid I'm going to pass out if I have to wear a mask and work out. I'm so afraid I'm gonna pass out. Let's see. When I started my weight loss journey, I found Michelle McDaniel. I have never even heard of her, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and write this down. Usually she's a Black woman with endometriosis and PCOS. Always candid about her own weight struggles from overweight to bodybuilding. Oh, I'm gonna just take a picture of the lazy way, because I've never heard of her. And I like to listen to people that understand, because they can really pinpoint the mindset of what, of what can really help you. And we all like people that's similar to us. So we all it's easier to learn from people who actually understand your struggle. What else did you say? She's more unconventional, personal trainer, and her channel and my thoughts will probably offend you. So viewer beware. Is she straightforward? But see, even straightforward, I'm okay with straightforward if you understand. If she knows what it's like to, it depends. If she knows what it's like to even she don't have to even had to lose even the same amount of weight that I wanted to lose. But if it's been a struggle psychologically for her, then it could help. So, so it's not even the bluntness that's for me. It's who the messenger is personally for me. So, but I do agree. If you aren't into the straightforwardness, then yeah, you might want to, because sometimes another thing that I do just in general for my life is I listen to motivational videos every time I get up in the morning. Like that's the first thing I put on is a motivational video when I wake up. And those people, most of them are dudes. Those people are not frou-frou, okay? Those dudes are rah-rah, okay? They don't care. They like, get up, get your butt up, stop being lazy. So it's not just that, it just depends. But mainly what I was talking about in this is women, certain people in this space or in leveling up or whatever, that's like you wagging their finger at you. She's a fitness expert. She's the one who should deliver the message. So I'm still definitely going to check her out because it sounds like somebody that I could actually get something from. Let's see. This is really important. Ladies, do your inner child work. Let your inner child know it's safe to be visible. Facts. Because of my hormone issues, I can't do intermittent fasting for more than a week or two, nearly passed out driving. Yeah, I heard that it's not for everybody. So yeah, you know your own body. If it's not for you, don't do it because it is restrictive to some degree. But for me, it's a lot easier. I don't like cooking in the morning. It's easier. Personally, for me, it's easier to not eat than to eat a little bit. Like eating a little bit to me is torture. I would rather just not eat at all. Than to eat a handful of grapes and 3 crackers. Like that's an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. But yeah, and not everything works for everybody's body or whatever. So if it don't work, definitely don't do it. I just know for me, it works in the sense that it's changed a lot. Everything is trial and error. But girl, we don't want you passing around out, especially not behind the wheel. Let's see. Meditation and exercise is great for stress relief. Yep. Now, how do you say that word? ICN. I'm not even going to try. I'm going to look it up though. And I'm going to also look up how to pronounce it. Dairy-free keto regimen. That's like one I'm trying to get off dairy too, because dairy is very bad for like imbalancing your hormones. An acupuncturist. I work out with my trainer virtually. I really don't think I can work out with a mask on. Yeah, I think I'm gonna join the gym just because the gym that I went to I really like, but I really wanted to join it because they actually had my favorite yoga. It was like a white man. He was a yoga instructor, but I don't think he's there anymore since the pandemic. And I don't think they have yoga classes as regular. Those were like my favorite yoga classes. And I don't think he's there anymore. So, but one of my friends, she's really into like fitness and working out and stuff. And also she on her own weight loss journey. So she really wants me to join the gym. I might join it for a little while just to see, but I'm really afraid that I'm gonna like pass. Like I get so irritated wearing a mask at work when I'm in the office that like, I don't know if I could like work out, especially heavy. I'm the type of person that will have that mask underneath my nose. Another hurdle is losing weight is people that will sabotage you. Exactly. I'm so glad you mentioned that because the thing is, I clearly like to give people the benefit of the doubt, but a lot of people aren't trying to sabotage you. But they do it when they compliment you or say, "Oh, you don't need to lose weight. Oh, you're so pretty." I didn't say I was ugly. I said I wanted to lose weight. That don't have anything to do with what I look like as far as my facial features. I didn't say I was ugly. I just said I was overweight and want to lose weight. So like, and people do this intentionally, or even like another thing, I gained a lot, I had lost a lot of weight and I kept it off for a couple years too. And I got in a relationship, gained it all back. You know, when they in your ear whisper talking about, I like what size you are. You're pretty. What you trying to say? You look good. Like all these dudes that be trying to talk to you, what you mean you need to lose weight? Ain't nothing wrong with you. All of that in your ear is sabotage. May not even be intentionally. But next thing you know, you eating out more. Next thing you know, you skipping them days working out. That's what happened to me. Hey, butterfly. Okay. It's pronounced Ayurvedic. Okay, I'm not gonna think about it too much. um, Somebody said check your vitamin D. I was very vitamin D deficient when I went. I think I haven't been in a while, but it was like 2019. I went. Oof, my vitamin D. I was very deficient because I wasn't going outside like that, and you know, melanin blocks vitamin D anyway from the sun. But I also did the last couple years in 2020. I spent a lot more. Imagine that I spent a lot more time outside. Like I wasn't necessarily around people, but I was outside more. So in the sun. Some people will go as far as bringing race into it just to stop you from your journey. What you mean, like saying about like black women big boned or something like that? What I say? You hilarious. What I say? um Use a light mask when exercising, like the surgical mask, or get the expensive mask with carbon filters. Girl, I got the surgical mask because I did notice that I could breathe in them better than cloth masks. They like, I wear glasses, I have a headset, like those masks be giving me headaches, like they hurt my ears. It could be all in my mind. I don't think so, but because I hate wearing it so much, it's definitely, that's the energy level I'm on. So that's why I get so annoyed about it. But I think I am going to try it and for a little while and see how. But yeah, so that's pretty much, I think that's everything that I wanted to talk about basically. Black women naturally being curvier than other races. Yeah, they do that. And to some degree, that's true. But there's a difference between being curvy and being obese. Like, and a lot of us do hold our weight better. We hold our weight better. It visibly looks better, but the insides ain't better. So, but yeah, but that's another thing that we hear a lot. You hold your weight well. You don't look like you weigh how much you weigh. Well, that don't take away from how much I weigh, baby. So it got to go. For me, I cannot do lower calorie alternatives. I had to quit soda cold turkey. Yeah, I don't drink soda very often. Jump rope exercises. I love jump rope. Jumping rope is not as easy as it was when I was in elementary school, honey. But it's still fun. Like I'm in elementary school. But all right, we've been here for an hour and 15 minutes. That's pretty much everything that I wanted to say. So basically, like, we just have to be careful about the environment that we're in, be careful who we're listening to, be careful if a lot of the times people simply don't understand, even if they try to help. Everybody want to be a doctor, everybody want to be a nutritionist. And I went to a nutritionist, they don't even know what they're talking about. So I no. I went to a nutritionist in like 2019. And that lady, like I was catching that lady in so much BS that she didn't like. They're reading from scripts. This is the thing. So all of us have to find what works for us as individuals. Like she said, like she can't do fasting. Find whatever else works. Sometimes small meals, 6 small meals, or whatever people said they do. Sometimes that work for people. Personally, for me, it don't work. So, but we have to find what works for us because like the lady she was giving real basic American standard diet information. Oh, eat light ranch dressing. How I'm coming to a doctor telling me to eat ranch dressing with mad preservatives in it, chemicals, a whole bunch of words that I can't pronounce. Like, this is your idea of help? No. So I don't need, so I'm not going to, for the most part, I don't even want to hear what nutritionists have to say. I got more valuable information off YouTube than when I went to an actual nutritionist. Much less people in comment sections. So just be careful. I like Pilates too. Pilates for me, I just can't with weights and insane cardio. I like Pilates now because it's low impact. Like I prefer low impact, honey. My knees be hurting sometimes. So, yeah, girl, she gonna tell me to like, and it was like a class. She gonna tell me to eat. I was like, so I'm supposed to eat reduced fat dressing. And then she was like telling us that we're going to be in a state of ketosis, eating 65 grams of carbs a day, depending on your weight, 55 to 60. How, what? Thomas didn't say that. That's all I'm saying. Thomas did not say that, honey. I don't believe you. And then when I would ask questions, she would be like, stuck. I'm like, ma'am, you don't even eat reduced fat ranch dressing. Don't lie to me. I hate doctors. They're scammers. Oh yeah, I went to hot yoga too. I loved hot yoga because I don't mind sweating. So, but it's really, I don't know. It's kind of difficult finding a good yoga studio. And we have a ton of yoga studios here, but it's kind of like hard. I'd rather just watch free videos on YouTube and do my own thing. And I've been doing yoga for so long now. Sometimes I just do my own yoga routine. How is hot yoga? Hot, girl. It's hot. You be in there dripping sweat. Don't even worry about getting your hair done. Don't do it. I personally, it's like, but the thing I like about hot yoga is most people are understanding that is you do you do that home with a space heater. Why did I have a space heater right over there that I had on today? Because I'm cheap and I don't like to have my my heat on real high. So I got a space heater. That's a good idea. Turn it, because that's what they do. They use the thermostat at hot yoga and turn it up to 95 degrees. It ain't nothing special. They just use the thermostat. That is hilarious. I'm gonna have to try that because I do like hot yoga. And a lot of hot yoga is like they're really patient with if you're a newbie and they tell you to stop. So you can get a little lazy in hot yoga. I'm not telling you get a little lazy in hot yoga, but you can get lazy in hot yoga because and I'm telling you, if you feel like you gotta stop. Because hot yoga is no joke. And it be funky in there too, but I love it. Close the door for about 30 minutes, then try Barakum. Is that how you say that word? Yoga? Girl, I'm gonna have to try that. And then I can be in the comfort of my own home, so I can be in like some underwear and a bra top, or some little shorts and a bra top that I'm not gonna wear in public, and I can just sweat, honey. I've been looking for good holistic doctors. Yeah, the hot yoga can be funky. Oh, I'm gonna try that. Yes, it be funky in hot yoga sometimes. Um, oh yeah. See, I've never even thought about that. Like the turn on the like space heater. And like, cause that my space heater gets a little $15 space heater from Walmart and it gets hot. Hey uppity. Hey girl. But yeah, it gets hot. Yes. I'm trying to be in my panties and my bra, my sports bra, doing hot yoga and my, oh yes. Oh yes. Thank you. You know, gave me an idea. See, very helpful. Oh, I'm gonna do that. Okay. Um, uppity. Did you want to join in? And so I was talking about why a lot of black women are overweight, and I was talking about my story and how I was holding on to weight because I felt safer. So, girl, you want to join in? You don't have to. No pressure. No pressure. If you ain't ready. Um. Let me see. Oh, y'all keep. I love it. Rheumatologist. I know how to say that word. Just wanted me to be on steroids the rest of my life. See, yep. And that's what they do. Cause like in 2019, when I was like going to a whole bunch of doctors and stuff, I was like, they would literally just so like I went vegan for a month. And I love being vegan for the not because I don't like meat, but because of the animals. You know, I have great respect for animals as much as you can have when you consume them. But I really like lost my train of thought. I was reading the comment and I lost my train of thought. Oh, girl, it's cool if you're not ready. What was I saying? What was the last thing I said, y'all? Um, I forgot. I do that sometimes. Oh, vegan. Okay, so I had went vegan. I was vegan for like a month straight, and I like got to the point where I couldn't even eat solid food. Like I would be curled up in the fetal position because I couldn't eat solid food. It wouldn't happen when I would like drink a smoothie or something like that. But every time I ate, so I don't know if it was the soy because I was eating a lot of like meat substitutes and a lot of vegan products have soy in it. So I don't know if it was because of that or what it was, but and also my body is very carb intolerant. Like I do not like the way I feel when I consume a lot of carbs and stuff. So that's why I don't eat that many carbs. But I went vegan and then I just like was struggling. Like I was on the struggle bus. And as soon as I started going back to eating regular, like the pain went away. So not everything works for everybody, but and I would like to, I think eventually I'm gonna try to cycle back into being vegan. Cause right now I'm only eating mainly fish and chicken, like fish, chicken, and turkey. No red meats and stuff, which is not that hard because I don't like eating red meat. But I do eventually want to cycle back into being vegan because I think that we're like literally destroying the planet and animals have feelings. I'm not going to go into a rant, but I just have to figure out what will work for me because that was some excruciating pain. I would be in pain for like 30 minutes to an hour after eating solid food. So I don't know what that was about, but yeah. You have to transition in and out very slowly or you'll get constipated and gas pains of all kind. Maybe that's what it was. Oh, and I remember why I was saying that because I went to the doctor and they gave me muscle relaxers. And I was like, and the muscle relaxers allowed me to eat. But I was like, I took it for like a day and a half. And I was like, I'm not going to keep taking muscle relaxers to eat because that's not helping the problem. That's like just putting a band-aid over it and pretending whatever is going on the inside of my body is still happening. I just can't feel it. So I'm like, no. So like an area said, you have to transition in and out very slowly or you'll get yeah. And I do have sometimes I do have diet as long as fasting really helps. And when I eat mostly meat and vegetables, for the most part, I'm good. But yeah, the digestional issues can get crazy. So, somebody said, no, you can't, eat too many substitutes. It's bad for your tummy. That must have been why. So the next time I do, I'm gonna just maybe try to be alkaline, or even if it's not alkaline, just mostly focus on vegetables, or at least mostly. I don't know if I'll ever be fully vegan again. I would like to, just because I don't like the treatment of animals, the inhumane treatment of animals, but you got to look into vegan Indian recipes. So my friend Cassandra, that was the white girl that was in the live before, she's vegan. And so when we lived together, she is the one who really introduced me into being vegan. And she would cook some really good meals. But back then I wasn't trying to hear that. Call me, sis. I got girl. Oh, yes. I'm gonna have to do something. I'm gonna have to get in contact with you because my issue is I don't like cooking, but I like cooking what I like. So if I find a few good meals, I'm good. And then I know Indians, they eat a lot of basically vegan food. They don't eat a lot of meat. So, but I'm not a super fan of Indian food, but after living with her, and she had like an Indian boyfriend, so she was really exploring with Indian food. I know that I love curry chickpeas. I love I've never really liked rice, but I love beans. If you go fully alkaline, stay alkaline, you could kill yourself transitioning back. Okay, so I'm not going fully alkaline then. I imagine it would be difficult to you putting basically toxins back in your body. And for me, the alkaline thing is too stressful. It's too stressful. Like it's too much to try to, is this alkaline? Is this so I'm gonna just try my best to get back into being vegan. I did a reset with my nutrition and eating habits at the beginning of this year. It has helped tremendously. I lost weight when I introduced something new. I can tell how my body reacts to food. Right, exactly. So, and I've been doing a lot of that too. And it's really, I wish I would have started paying attention to my intake earlier because I think those meat substitutes was a big issue. And I was trying to keep my mind on track by finding things that I still liked, but I'm gonna just start trying to eat less meals with meat, and I guess slowly transition myself. Well, I guess I won't be fully alkaline then, because I don't know. I'm scared that I won't be able to stay fully alkaline. And I just feel like it would be such an inconvenience. That's so bad. That's so bad to know that alkaline is healthy and like I might start eating Indian food. I'll just look it up. So light and airy, you vegan. Fully vegan. See, I need some good recipe. I would have no issue being vegan today if somebody would cook my food for me. I would have no issue doing it. But it's like trying to find good meals and trying to like it's can be hard, and then I get overwhelmed, and then I'm like, bump this. I'm gonna just make me some steamed broccoli and some chicken and call it a day. But I'm gonna need them recipes because I have no problem when I go to vegan restaurants and stuff like that. I have no problem with finding foods that I like when other people cook it. I always cook for my family at events. And like we have, because like in Durham, which is a little drive from me, and by drive, I mean 30 minutes, but it's like they have soul food vegan restaurants, and the food is so good. Like they had fake jerk chicken, and I love vegan pulled pork with what is that? What is that fruit stuff that they use for like pulled pork and meat? It's kind of like a meaty texture, but I think it's like a fruit. I can't, it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it, but it's so good. But all of that stuff is so good until I try to cook it. So I'm gonna just have to take a vegan cooking class or something. Jackfruit, that's what it is. Jackfruit. And jackfruit is really good too. Vegan richa. Mexican vegan? Ooh. Asian food is my favorite cuisine, namely like Japanese and Vietnamese. And yeah, I love Asian food. That's my favorite cuisine. East Asian food. So yeah. All right. Well, we've been up here for an hour and a half, so I'm about to get up out of here. And I'll be live tomorrow. Uppity says she won't ready, girl. Well, I will make sure I'm ready for your live tomorrow at 9. And then I'm going live before that with a girl I know. We used to be co-workers when I graduated from college, and I was like a wedding consultant at David's Bridal. So we're going to talk about Black women birthing while Black is what I named it, but we're going to talk about natural births and home births. She actually delivered her own child. Crazy. And like me, I don't have kids, but I'm like so scared to give birth. Like I had a dream about it the other night, and I was scared in my dream. So I had a dream I was pregnant, and I was scared then. So I'm for real scared. And no, I'm not pregnant. So yeah, so tomorrow I'll be live with her, I think at 6, and we'll be talking about home births, because Black women and infant mortality rate with Black children and babies and Black mothers. So I did want to touch on that topic, and she's a doula. So I want a doula when I have and I want to doula when I have a kid. So I thought that would be something good to talk about. I know. Oh, full jerk chicken. I know. I love Jamaican jerk chicken. The spices were the same, but girl, it wasn't the same, but it was good enough. So yes, I can't wait. I've never heard her story either. So when she told me, I asked her on Instagram, I was like, do you mind doing a live or whatever? And so I think she's newly to the doula world or whatever, but she might have been doing it for years, actually. I don't know. But I can't wait for her story. She was like, I delivered. I was like, what? You delivered your own child at home? Crazy. Now, I don't want to deliver my own child. Honey, that's why I need a man with money, because I want at least two doulas. At least two. Or a doula and a midwife. So I'm so excited for that tomorrow at 6. And then Uppity Unicorn is having a live with some ladies, and I'm supposed to be joining there too. So yeah, I'm gonna be up all night tomorrow after work on live. But I'm so excited but the live with the doula, her name is Angel, but that'll probably be like an hour or so to get out. So definitely come with your questions and stuff. And I can't wait to hear that story too, because that is crazy. I'm so scared. I want a baby at some point, but I'm so scared to give birth. Like, I'm so scared. I'll be like Pam on The Office when it was time to give birth and she won't trying to go to the hospital. That'll be me. I'm scared. So, you looking into doula courses too? Yes. I'm so glad millennial women are going back the natural route. My grandma was a midwife. Like, that was back in the day. Like, you didn't want hospitals to go to back then, especially if you lived in the country. Oh, you delivered your babies at the house, the neighborhoods, babies and stuff. So, but we feel like we so far removed from that. So I'm so excited. I definitely want a doula as well. Thank you for bringing so much enriching content. You're welcome. And I'm so excited too, because I'm for real scared. So we're going to learn some stuff. So come with y'all questions, anything that I can't think of, I didn't really think of. Yeah, I will be giving birth at home or at a birth center. I kind of want to do the birth center. I don't know if I really want to do it at home. Hopefully, not hopefully, by then I'll have me a nice big house with my husband. So I might be able to do it at home, but I don't know. I might feel safer at a birthing center. I don't know. I'll see what she say. And and we can talk about this, because I think it's other options, and people have been doing this long before these cold, sterile hospitals were a thing. Yes, and I'm hoping my fear will kind of like minimize my fear too, because I have a very low tolerance for pain. I'm very a worrier, so and I ain't nowhere near pregnant. So, but all right, I will see y'all tomorrow at 6. I love y'all so much. Thank you for being here. And yeah, let me get on up out of here so I can go to bed. It's early.